Welcome back to the Pig and Whiskey Test Kitchen. Today we're going back to the basics with smoked chicken. Let's get started. Here we have a 5.5 pound young chicken. Remove it from the package and drain it as thoroughly as possible. Remove the neck and the giblets. Here I'm giving the chicken a quick inspection, and now we'll remove the Pope's nose, or you can wait and remove it with the backbone. But flip it over so the back side is up, and then we're going to slice the skin down the center of the back. Now this is optional, but I like to pull the skin back before I remove the backbone. That allows me to tuck the skin up under the chicken, preventing the skin from shrinking back and exposing the meat while it cooks. Using the kitchen shears, we'll cut along both sides of the backbone. If you don't have shears, feel free to use a sharp knife, but please be careful. Now that you have the backbone removed, go ahead and open it up like a book until you hear an audible crack in the breastbone. Once you have the chicken opened up, using your shears, trim off the rib bones and any of the undesirable bits. Now that you have the inside cleaned up, go ahead and tuck the wings back in on themselves and then season the inside thoroughly with kosher salt. What we're doing here is basically creating what's called a dry brine. So instead of a traditional wet brine, we use kosher salt to create a similar result. Flip the bird over and season both sides. This brining technique will produce a juicier meat and help achieve a crispier skin. Once you have it thoroughly seasoned, we're going to place it in the fridge for approximately 3 to 4 hours. That will allow time for the salt to work its magic. About an hour before the chicken is ready, we're going to light our smoker. Any smoker or pellet grill will work, as long as the temperature is set for 325 degrees. Today we are throwing in a chunk of post oak. Replace the grate and close the lid. Now that the chicken has brined for approximately 3 hours, we're going to apply our seasoning. Today we're using Chicken Fried Barbecue's Texas Rib Grind, which is an excellent rub for chicken. It is very flavorful and creates an outstanding appearance on the finished product. Before we apply it, the salt has pulled some moisture out of the chicken and we need to blot as much as we can. Then we'll season the inside of the chicken as evenly as possible. Flip it over and tuck the skin up under the chicken just like I'm doing here. And now we're going to season the outside. You want a nice even coat. And if you don't have this particular rub, feel free to use whichever rub you like best. Now that the chicken is seasoned, we're going to place it on the grates. Close the lid and set the timer for 30 minutes. After 30 minutes is up, we're going to open it up and give it a quick spritz, and that will help to crisp the skin. I'm using spray Parkay here, but you can certainly use whatever you have on hand. Duck fat spray would work, or even a light brushing of olive oil. At this point, we want to insert a temperature probe and monitor it closely. We're back inside to make the sauce. More specifically, a glaze. We're using a 1/4 cup of your favorite barbecue sauce, and then we're going to add a 1/4 cup of your favorite drinking sauce. Mix that together and you should have a nice soupy consistency. We're not going for traditional sticky barbecue chicken here. We're just wanting a nice light glaze to coat the chicken and add a little bit of color. Once the chicken hits 155 degrees internal temperature, we're going to give it a light coat of the sauce and let it go for 10 minutes. After 10 minutes has passed, your chicken is done. Let's head back inside and we'll tent the chicken with some foil. We're going to let it sit for approximately 15 to 20 minutes so that it can finish cooking. After 15 minutes has passed, our chicken is now cool enough to handle and it's time to carve. Remove it from the rack, find a good sharp knife, and just slice the thighs right off the chassis. They should come off pretty easily. Next, we're going to work on the wings, which are a little more tricky since you have to slice down between the breast and the wing drummy. But they're not terribly difficult. When you have those removed, we're going to slice down alongside the center bone of the breast, and then turn the knife slightly to remove the breast from the rib cage. Once the breast is removed, slice them across the grain into 1/2 inch thick medallions, taking care not to remove the skin while cutting. My apologies here as I haven't eaten all day, but take a look at how incredibly juicy this chicken is. In fact, I haven't seen anything that moist since that time I wore a muscle shirt to your mom's house. The wing should come apart with hardly any resistance, and the meat will easily pull free of the bone. Okay, once we have everything sliced and parted out, we're going to plate our chicken. I'm placing both breasts in the center of the plate, and then the legs will go around the outside, round the outside. And since we already ate one wing, we'll place the other one right in the middle. The subtle smoke from the post oak meshes flawlessly with the woody notes from the bourbon, and with just a hint of barbecue sauce in the background, it sets the perfect stage for the chicken to be the star of the show. It is smoky, juicy, and delicious. Thank you for joining us today in the Pig and Whiskey Test Kitchen. Hope to see you next time. And as always, the recipe is listed in the description below. And don't forget,